Frederick Douglass said it's easier to rebuild strong children than to rebuild broken men. So with Trinity Team, we're going back to the future, and I'm gonna build on that little boy that's inside of me and make him strong so we can help the future. But all 2023 know that Trinity Team here to make a movement. Let's go back to the future.
For the love of me, it's the root of all evil. To get me in abundance, some'll shoot their own people. Old and young alike, that's why we loot and sell diesel. Cause when that status change, you can tell it by an ego. They say the green body can loosen the still walk, face full of dead men, but damn it, they still talk. In a simple speech spoke, get a printed tea soaked, a conceited chick poked to descending deep throat, a losing case of chance and my partner's cheap hope that they cases disappear like some fire street coke. And even if it don't, we can make this time memorable. The devil saying stick with me forever and I make you feel invincible. Now I hear another voice that's telling me to pray hard, and the devil's only options is hell, jail, or graveyard. Feeling pressured by grown men to keep a facade and stay hard. That's that little boy inside of him that was bullied on that clay yard.
Cigarette, smoking my cancer, drink the pain away, but I still have no answer.
Miss me with the bull, keep the funny mess piling, cause all the words echoed was dummy, pest silence. When all he really wanted was honeys, respect, guidance. So all he knows now is money, sex, violence. The rich and poor die alike, and only the soul lasts. And this the words that the Lord gave me on the road to Damascus.
This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you.
Okay.
Welcome to this week's edition of Road to Damascus. I have a very special guest. I have my brother, Mr. Joe Matt, Christian rapper, man. Tell these people where you're from, brother.
I'm from Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
West
so
Africa.
in West Africa?
Yeah.
Okay. So here in the US, people have a ignorant mindset of what the continent of Africa is like, and they like to stereotype all the countries. So if you ask the typical inner city black youth what's it's like in Africa, they gonna think it's like the Lion King, brother. so
Nah.
so let them know how your continent and your country is. What's Nigeria like? Was it compared to the US?
It's not that different. Just that the U.S. is a bit developed, but we still got houses, got buildings, we got beautiful sites, we got nature at its fullest. So we got like everything, but just not as developed as the U.S.
Okay. So my next question, because we hear like the African culture that even we embrace, like everything is big on family. So
Yeah.
I want to know, did you grow up with both parents, or do you guys experience the same troubles that we experience here as well?
Uh, I did grow up partially with them to a
Mm-hmm.
point, but they kind of split at a point. We had like crisis, family crisis, and kind of like split. And for some couple of years, I just been, I haven't really been with them, but we do see one a couple times, but I don't actually live with them.
Okay. All right. So my next question, which is a big one, how did you get into the music? How did you embrace the hip hop? And was it? It's actually a two part. And was it always Christian rap, or did it start off as secular and you got into the Christian?
Uh, I started uh, I started whole music like I really loved music growing up. Then
Mhm.
at a point, I was supposed to write some exams at school, and I was out of school for like 2 years, so they had to put me back so I could just get along with everything, the whole system. So they put me in school, back in school, and I walked in class one day and I just saw like a couple people just write in, a couple of my classmates just write in, try to freestyle some some things. So I like, wow, let me try it out, you know, because I really love music, but haven't really tried to express myself through it. So I just picked the pen, started writing, and started seeing that what I wrote was kind of like deep because of all the things I've been through and all the things that I've been seeing. So like I just started writing, and from there, kind of like grew the passion just grew. I had like a computer set at home, so I I looked online like what can I use to make beats? What can I use to like really get myself in the whole music thing? Because I don't think a lot of producers gonna get like what I really want, like my sound, like what I really want. Because I'm in Africa and the most dominant music is Afro beats. Like and so like most producers here ain't gonna really get like, oh, this type of thing I want to do is what this how I want to sound. So I really got into it, and I got like the first doll I worked with was called LMMS, and
Okay.
it's not really known. It's not really popular. So I really and all you do in that doll is just make beats. So I just make and I played the keys. So I just made a couple beats. It wasn't really good at first, but I started developing my skills making beats, and then I found out about FL Studios, Fruity Loops, and I got into Fruity Loops. Started working on a couple things, looking online, like trying to learn things online about production and all that. But at first, it wasn't really all Christian rap. I really
Okay.
didn't do Christian rap at first. I was just writing anything that just comes to my mind. It could be about a girl. It could be about anything. So I just
Right.
wrote like that, yeah. And it's how I just got into it. But I was brought up in the church. I was brought up in the way of the Lord. And I sat one day and the Holy Spirit was ministering to me. And he was like, pointing out a couple things. I was looking at everybody, like every underdog that I knew at the moment, everybody was just doing the same thing, just singing about the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole music industry was just sounding so uh, oversaturated with the wrong things.
Right.
Anybody at the time, I didn't know anybody who was like talking about God in their music and really sticking to it. So I he pointed that out to me, and I was like, how am I gonna go about it? How am I gonna write? So he started giving me inspiration, and I just sit. Sometimes I could be walking down on the road, and he probably just dropped like a melody, some
Mm-hmm.
lines, and the song just starts from there. I record on my phone, and from there, if I get into like the studio or where uh where I got like some something to make music or the keys, I'm just play and write from where I just stop. Wherever the inspiration stops, I'm just write from there. If I'm on the keys, and it's just gonna flow, and I really start from there. And a couple years forward, uh, I met a couple people. One, an artist. He's now in the U.S. though, and I was using his equipment. I was just making
Mm-hmm.
music. I was making music for him, and I was making music for myself. And then I paid for distribution and start from there, just making music. So I could be walking down on the road, I could be in the shower, I could be anywhere, and the Lord just gonna drop some bars in, or he gonna drop like a melody line, and I'm just right from wherever he just inspires me from, and that's just how it started.
Okay. So, to piggyback off that, this journey, this Christian journey, where was your most significant journey, and when did you hear? Because I heard you say you grew up in the church, but the moment where you like, okay, I know it's a God. God is talking to me. What was your most significant journey in that walk?
Well, I used to be like I used to have like chronic depression at a time because like a lot of things was going south and family, a lot of things was going south. Like when I look around, see like the whole environment, like how everybody, uh, nobody really getting out, nobody really getting to a certain point. So I was like, nah, like I don't want to really go that route. And
Mm-hmm.
then they don't really embrace God like that, like the way they at that time, the way they supposed to embrace God. So I was like, why not like make the difference? Why not be the difference? So I started out, and God just been helping me when I don't really know where to go or how to go about things. I
Mm-hmm.
just gonna, he's just gonna like point it out. And I just been really keen to know when God be pointing out the right direction, or when it's me just trying to be like, oh, go that route. So it's been the Lord all through.
Okay, so I want to ask you something else, and this one I actually heard from a Nigerian family, but I want to hear your aspect on it. So they were explaining to me in Nigeria, it's easy. I don't want to use the word sell your soul because we say that a lot, but they talk about the witch doctors and the fortune and fame, and that you could go somewhere and like ask for that stuff to get what you want. So my question for you is, what gave you the strength to say I'm gonna follow God, and I don't want this from a demonic standpoint? A young rapper and someone whose head is obviously on straight. How did you not get caught up in the process of I want the fame and fortune the fast way versus I'm gonna do it God way?
Well, I actually had like understanding from the scriptures. I was born in a place where like they do a lot of diabolic, a lot of like voodoo and all that
Mm-hmm.
witchcraft go on. So I was like, my mom always tell me, she gonna tell me like, look where you come from, look at how your family is, look at how everybody in your family, the level they at.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna be there, or you wanna go far, or you wanna go farther. You wanna be at that level, or you wanna climb, or you wanna succeed. And if you really want to succeed, you're gonna have to hold God stronger. You're gonna have to be more closer to God. So I strive as much as possible to go closer to God. And any crossroad, when I'm at certain crossroads, I just turn to Him like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Take the wheels, and He always come through for me. And that's how it is. So all that fame and everything, because I was raised to know God and read the
Mm-hmm.
scriptures. So from the scriptures, I knew that if God wanted some certain things to be, it don't matter how long it take. That thing gonna be how God ordained it to be. How it's gonna be. It's just gonna be how God wanted it to be. So I know that if I'm supposed to be famous, if I'm supposed to be uh like global, even if it take time, no matter how long it take, I'm gonna get there. And it's better I get there the right way than I get there the wrong way. Cause I done heard a lot of stories, a lot of tales. I done know a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people who said, I'm gonna go the fast lane. I'm gonna go like the fast route. But going through the fast route, they end their life short, or probably they got everything, but they don't got happiness. Some certain things ain't there. Cause I know right around here, if you want this, right, and you going like witchcraft way or the voodoo, you wanna get it to the
Mm-hmm.
voodoo, they're gonna give you certain options. All right, you're gonna do this, but you can't do this. Or some certain days you gotta lock yourself in the room and just chant uh some divinations and just all that for like the whole day. You ain't gonna eat nothing. You just gonna be there, or you just gonna okay. If you get you gonna get the money, but you got only like 7 years to live, or your life is gonna be cut short. So I don't really want that. So I just like I know how these things work, and what God gives, they ain't got no blemish. What He gives is perfect, and I'm gonna wait till He gives me that thing or that fame or whatever I'm striving for, especially in the music, trying to get that fame, trying to get global and all that. I know that God gonna give me, but I have to follow. I have to work through it. I have to work through it with God, because if I get there and I don't got the capacity to like manage it or to sustain it, it's just going in a blink of an eye, it's going to vanish, it's going to disappear. So I know that the whole process is God strengthening me and giving me the capacity for anything He's gonna give me, for the whole fame and all that. So I just know that it's a whole process. I'm gonna have to work through it.
Amen. And just so you know, your words like echoed with me, brother. So that's powerful. And I want the audience to actually hear what my brother said, that you could get it easy the other way, but just know that it come with a cost, and most of
Yeah.
that gonna cut your life short. And that's the reason you see these rappers and actors that you see now ODing and life getting cut short early after they was supposed to be on. So he just gave
So,
it to you flat out. You
yeah.
heard it. My next question, brother, is as a young Christian brother, because I know we still go through temptations and all of that. So how what advice would you give a youngster who say, okay, I want to follow God and I want to do this, but I see my friends doing A, B, and C, and I want to be a part of this cool crowd, but I know my heart wants to follow God, but I don't want to be outcasted as a weirdo or a fanatic or any of that stuff. What advice would you give that young brother whose heart is torn?
I'm gonna tell them the best thing is to be cast out of the crowd. That's the best thing ever. If you stand out differently, like I personally like to be different. I don't really like everybody doing this certain thing, and I'm caught up in the mix. I just like to be, oh, that kid, oh no, he different. That's what you be striving for. Because when they say you different, meaning you going somewhere. Because the difference is very clear when you out of the crowd. Because all that trend and all that life partying, all of that, that's just gonna cut you short. And all of the time you're supposed to be building capacity, building power. You're just gonna be amongst your peers, talking about having unhealthy conversations and having things that not gonna get you far. But the moment you're gonna be on your own and build yourself and say, oh, I'm embrace growth. I'm gonna embrace having learning things, new things, strengthening myself in the Lord, knowing walking his way and getting guidance from him. Then you're gonna see that your life is gonna be on a different route, because the difference is gonna be clear. It don't matter how long it take, it's just gonna be clear, because it just, that's just how it is with God. Because the moment you just say, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna walk with God. I don't care what the crowd says. I don't care what nobody says. I know who I am through the scriptures. I know what God has for me through the scriptures. And you're gonna have to read the scriptures. You're gonna have to ask the Holy Spirit to give you understanding of what He's saying through the scriptures, because He's saying a lot. He's speaking a lot, but not a lot of people be listening to other things He be saying, because He's saying a lot through the scriptures. You just have to discipline yourself and read the scriptures, listen to tapes, right? The Lord be speaking, and you just had all of that. Because the moment you say, I'm gonna be part of the crowd, I'm gonna be you, there ain't no difference, right? You're just gonna end the same way everybody ended, broken home, something like that. uh a lot of things you probably want for yourself gonna be cut short. And no, in life, I know one thing is certain. If you want to go far, or anybody that made it today, they started from somewhere, and they started alone. They had the vision alone, and as they grew, a lot of people came in, a lot of people that shared the vision. If people around you don't share the vision you sharing, you envisioning, you got to cut them off. You got to keep them aside. You got to be far from them. If they're not going your route, take another route. Keep them out of your life and all of that. Because the moment you say, I'm gonna be part of the crowd, I'm gonna be part of everybody, you're just gonna drown in all of that. And at the end, you're gonna see that things you really wanted, you ain't really gonna get it, because you're just part of the crowd, you're just part of the way they're going. You sharing another person's vision, another person's lifestyle, you live in another person's lifestyle instead of your own. So be the difference. If a lot of people, if everybody working the same way, and that's not the right way, be the difference. It's just how it is. That's my
Okay.
advice. Yeah.
So I want
in accordance with that, I want to stay on court with that. As men, especially young men, as an old man, I still feel it, like the sexual desires. So for a
Yeah.
young man, I know it's two times and three times stronger. So what advice would you give that young brother who say, okay, I want to date, but I'm always turned on, and that leads to like the women and all of the other stuff. What advice would you give that brother on how to stay pure versus having multiple sexual partners, and the what's the word, and the consequences of having multiple sex partners and all of this other stuff? Because I personally believe in soul ties myself, but I want to know your opinion about it.
My advice is gonna be uh keep boundaries. One thing is for sure, the urge is gonna be there, right? God put them in place, did the right thing, right? But doing it at the wrong time, that's where like the consequences come in. They got like physical consequences, and there's also the spiritual side to it. Cause I I went and did my research and learned a lot of things that made me everybody doing this certain way. Cause I mean
Mhm.
I be hanging with couple friends that I grew up with or I knew in one way or the other. They just be like, let's go get some women. Let's party. Let's do this. Let's do that. But I don't be like, nah. Especially when it goes to like the women and sexual intercourse, I don't really, because I know that a lot of things happening. First off, the more if you have multiple sexual partners, you just like having like a pie, right?
Mhm.
And everybody coming, that pie is you, and you whole, right? You was born whole, but everybody that comes in and you have like that, they have like a piece of the pie, and the more slices be going out of the pie, the more empty the plate gonna be, and that's how you is. You you're born with a lot of virtue and a lot of things. All that is you, right? The more you do that, the more you just all that virtue and all that piece of you just keep going. The more you keep doing it, the more it keep going. The more you keep doing it, the more it keep going. And at the end of the day, a lot of people now they can't stay with one woman because they can't have enough. They're empty now. They can't really. They just that piece is gone. That what makes them whole is gone. So they can't be whole no more. And that's what make a lot of people be jumping. I wanna get with that woman. I wanna get with that woman. So my advice is gonna be, if you're gonna have a girlfriend, if you're gonna have a partner, first off, you're gonna have to set boundaries. Second off, y'all gonna have to know, you're gonna have to share a common vision, right? The
Mhm.
Bible says, "Don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers," right? The thing there is, if she not going your route, she not for you. If she don't share your vision, if she don't want you, like she not for your growth, you got to keep her aside, right? And there's time for everything. If it's the time, then why not, right? But at first, that boundary should be there. You shouldn't really like, the whole sexual desire gonna be there, but that boundary, if you set that boundary, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't get all that, right? I still want to be like, I still want us to be a thing, but I don't really want to get into this right now until we getting married, until the day I propose, until the day it becomes official that we're a thing.
Mhm.
That's just how it is. It's gonna be hard, but discipline. That's where discipline comes in. When you discipline yourself, you're gonna I this. Even when the urge comes, you're gonna snap. I don't want this. I don't want to go far. I don't want to go into that. Especially like me. I've been in some situations where like they try to seduce me, and and I'm like almost like falling for it. But I just have like this prompting in me, like what I'm doing. What if I want to go through with this is really wrong. I got like this. My conscience just be hitting me like, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. And I just cut it right there. I don't want to go too far. I just cut it right there because the moment you give in, it's done, and you're just gonna start from there and there and there until you become so empty that ain't nothing gonna feel you no more except God, except you're gonna be saved again, except you're gonna be saved. Ain't nothing gonna feel you no more. So you just have to, first off, be disciplined. Second off, if you're gonna have a partner and it's not a time, you just have to keep that boundary. And thirdly, that person has to share a vision. If that person knows everything a person had to be doing, and y'all going to the same place, then y'all could be a thing. But if that person don't share your vision, don't ain't looking out for your growth, that shouldn't be y'all shouldn't have that. And I read a lot, and there was a book I read. Uh, I think I can't quite remember the author, but the book was Secret Love, right? And she
Hmm.
said one thing that I learned from that book was the moment you put sex, sexual intercourse, and all that first and you put that in a mix in a relationship, that relationship ain't gonna get nothing but that. Anytime y'all see, just have the main drive is just gonna be sex. You're just gonna have sex, and that's just what it's gonna be. It's just all gonna be about sex. But the time you're looking out for her growth, she looking out for your growth, y'all growing together, right? That's when you know you grow with it, and then it gets to a time because y'all kept boundaries. Then by the time y'all do that, y'all get into the other side. Y'all know that y'all then it becomes more enjoyable than when it's you're trying to do it at the wrong time. You just want to be part of the trend. I got like 40 body count. Like your body count be counting up. All that is just gonna drain you spiritually, and it's just gonna keep you at a point where you feel just emptiness, where you can't get feel no more, where you can't get enough no more. You're just going just every time you want to move, you see a new person, you see a new girl, you're going after that. So my advice is going to be just that discipline, right? Boundaries and common vision. That's going to be my advice to the person.
Okay. So I want to switch back to the music again. So who influenced you, whether Christian or secular, as a rapper and as a producer? Who had the influence to where you say this is nice?
Okay. The person I actually looked up to, getting into the music, getting the rap was a South African rapper. He goes by the name Nasty C. So like I listened to like his records back in the day. I really love what he was doing and what he still do. I really love like the music I was hearing and all of that, and him also being from Africa, that kind of like inspired me. Like, oh, I could do something like this. But what if I at some point I was like, what if I switch it up, turn it to gospel? But yeah, he kind of like influenced me like in that. And then when it comes to like the production side, uh, I was during the time I started. There was a producer. He from Toronto, and now he lives in Toronto, and uh, he goes by the name Simon Servita. He was like the one like because he makes like a lot of like crazy beats. Like so I really followed him up, and it was just I still follow him till today. He makes some gospel stuff too sometimes, but that's like once in a long time. Like, but just that he makes samples and all that. So I just started learning from him when it comes to like beat making. But I still got other people that I look at their stuff like Devon Terrell. I look at his stuff when it comes to like mixing all of that. So I got like different people that I look for different that I look up to for different production aspects of the whole production. So yeah,
Okay. So my last question is where can the people follow you? Social media, your platform to actually hear your music, your production. Where can they find you at?
me like my handles or
Yeah,
where I'm
uh-huh.
at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, on IG I go by at Joe Matt official. That also on YouTube, and but on Facebook the same. But on TikTok, I'm on Thread too. On Thread, on TikTok, it's official, but the C is an X. So if they search me on Joe Matt official, but the C is an X. Uh, on TikTok, I ain't on X, but I think I'm gonna create an account. Yeah.
Okay. So before we wrap up, anything you want the audience to know about you that we haven't touched on? Because I want them to highlight you, because you enlighten me to a lot of stuff, man. Especially, like I said, the African culture. Because you ask any inner city black here, and they gonna be like, "In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight."
That's kind of actually funny though, but nah. It's kind of like Africa is kind of is a really beautiful place, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of talent that don't really get to the limelight. A lot of talents they just get. Sometimes they give up on their dreams because like ain't no sponsors, ain't no way. Cause like right here, everything be fighting against you. Where you from, your background, the voodoo, the witchcraft, and everything just be. But that's just the thing. But God be seeing us through. So here it's just all good. It's all love, and God just be helping us. And I just want to shout out to every other African that be doing the most, trying to get out there and still in the grind and all that. I just want to shout them out, and they get there eventually. The time gonna be. It don't matter how long it takes when the time's right.
Okay, man, that's a wrap. Y'all heard it from my brother. I'm gonna have to bring him back on the show, and we're gonna get deeper into more questions. But he blessed me today. He blessed y'all with a lot of stuff, and man, I hope y'all listening, because like I said, as a young brother, he enlightened me to a lot of stuff that I already knew, but he kind of like reawaken that spiritual side to say, hey, get back to what God called you to do, and everything else will fall into place into God's timing. So I thank you, brother. You are a blessing to me and a blessing to the culture. So thank you, brother.
Thank, thank you so much. Appreciate the platform too.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much.
All right.